Hi there, I'm meteorologist Tom Kippen. Welcome to Up in the Sky Weather. I'm a meteorologist in Marquette, Michigan, and you can catch my weather forecast on my UP News and also stations of the Radio Results Network and Catholic Radio in Marquette on 103.9 FM. On the radar and satellite, this is what you're seeing here, and this is just a textbook satellite picture of a hurricane. This is just a powerful hurricane that went through the island country of Jamaica today, and you can see the eye wall just went on shore on the western side of Jamaica, but this is textbook in terms of you see that perfectly symmetrical eye all of a sudden just collapse in on itself when it hit the mountain terrain of western Jamaica. And you can see this is the infrared satellite picture here throughout the day on Tuesday. And now it looks like it's starting to get its act together here. And in fact, I'm going to see if I can close on in here on this eye wall here. And yes, I can. But notice how starting to get going here with some more of an eye-like feature as it has crossed to the north of the north shore of Jamaica, and it is now heading to the eastern part of Cuba. But watch what happens here. We'll zoom on in, and then what we'll do is, here's the eye. You can see it just coming on shore, and then it just collapses in on itself south and east of Montego Bay, and then moves up to the north and east here. And then you can see it moves offshore, and then you can see the eye starting to gather strength once again. So we'll see if it does any more strengthening as it heads towards Cuba. It made landfall with sustained winds of 185 miles per hour. Just imagine it here. I mean, I'm hopeful everything worked out okay for the western side of Jamaica, but it was definitely a loud roar when that storm came on shore, and it did probably catastrophic damage here in and around the eye wall where there was 185 mile per hour sustained winds. And then it weakened a little bit. Now it looks like it's starting to get its act back together. As we take a look at the forecast track from the National Hurricane Center, you can see that we do have the track and the hurricane moving to the north and east. This storm is going to be picking up strength picking up speed as it moves on off towards the north and east and then into the North Atlantic. So the American westerlies will be protecting the U.S. mainland as this storm moves on off towards the north and towards the east, out into the North Atlantic and away from any mainland features across the North American continent and the European continent. But just good thoughts and prayers to the people of Jamaica. All right, here we go with Tom Takes Weather Notes. Tom's Take Weather Notes here. Haven't been doing this in the last couple of days. Had to fight off some sickness, so we're back at it here on my YouTube channel, and this is a weather channel on YouTube that's meant for the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. And here's my weather notes. We continue with above average temperatures for Wednesday and Thursday, but chilly air is coming in time for Halloween. And then we're looking at rain showers that will also be possible Friday and Saturday. And I wouldn't be surprised to see some or hear of some snowflakes that fly around across the higher terrain as you go west of Marquette. National blend of models, we're going to still keep temperatures right around 50. That's the mean average for the National blend of models here for your Thursday. This is for the National Weather Service in Negaunee Township, which is west of Marquette. And then as you can see, temperatures in the 40s as we go into Halloween this upcoming weekend, and also as we head into next week. And as we head into next week, we are looking at chilly temperatures for next week with temperatures in the 40s. But let's go looking for some snow here, shall we? Let's look at some models. And this is the 12Z NAM here. We're dry Wednesday, dry Thursday. What you're looking at up here is Friday. And a strong area of low pressure will be moving across the northeastern United States. We will be on the back edge of it with little or no precipitation from that storm system. But what we're going to get is a northerly to northeasterly wind. And with that coming off the open waters of Lake Superior, the relatively warmer waters of Lake Superior, that's going to bring in some lake effect rain showers. So we're going to have rain showers, Lake Superior helping out in the process. And like I said, I wouldn't be surprised here to get a little bit of snow mixing in as you go west of Marquette. GFS model 18Z, let's see what it's up to today. Stationary boundary, and it's a fading stationary boundary to our west. High pressure in control to the north and east, east to southeasterly flow into upper Michigan. And watch the rain just fade away to the west of us, and a pretty strong storm system gain strength across the central Appalachians. And then we're going to have another area of low pressure develop across the mid-Atlantic coastline of the United States, and then we also have Hurricane Melissa. And all those three features I just mentioned are going to move to the north and east. For us, though, we're going to be turning chillier, and as we head into Sunday here, this is Sunday afternoon, might get a good west to southwesterly wind out ahead of our next storm system that looks to come in here as we head into Monday afternoon and Tuesday. And behind that, that might bring in some chillier, colder air as we head into the middle of next week. And it also might link up with another area of low pressure going up the eastern seaboard and really explode that storm system. But for us, yeah, that would be some colder air. See the isobars packed in together? That would definitely mean some wind and perhaps some snow showers and rain showers moving on through the UP. As we go further out in time here, possibly some rain or snow as we go into the end of next week, but that's a ways out. And then you can see we're dry, and then it looks like we could have some rain as we get closer to the middle of the month here. But really, in terms of a big area of low pressure coming out of Texas and Oklahoma into lower Michigan to give us heavy snow, the GFS is really not painting that. And then as we take a look at the GFS temperatures here, yes, we do get in on the chillier air as we go into this weekend. But I want you to notice here, other than a little bit of a brief brush with some Arctic air as we go into the middle of next week, and that may mean some hat and gloves weather, we're not really looking at some deep cold air that's really going to set up shop here. All of it remains to our north, and in fact, temperatures, even towards the end of the GFS run, could be looking at going above average as we get towards the middle of the month. Let's see what the European model's up to, and you can see we're dry for the European model through Thursday. Could be some precipitation Friday and Saturday, like the GFS is painting in. And then passing rain showers on Monday with our next storm system. And then unlike the GFS, the European doesn't paint in that big East Coast storm, so that would be good for the East Coast. But for us, nothing really big to talk about through the middle of next week. Could get something according to the European model as we go into late next week and next weekend, and possibly might be active according to the European model as we go into the end of next week and November 9th, 10th, and 11th. As we look at the temperatures for the European model, there's your chilly air for this weekend. And then we get a little bit of warm up, some mild air coming in for the middle of next week. Now, compared to the global model, GFS American model, the European model doesn't have that good push of cold air coming in for the middle of next week. So something's gotta, agree upon something here. But right now, like I've been saying, and if you follow me on social media, especially on Facebook, Tom Kippen, I always say, you can't trust weather models and a forecast after 5 to 7 days, and this is a pure example of that. You got one model saying coats, hats, and gloves weather, and you got another model saying, well, not so quite. And then you can see here overall the European model, maybe next weekend some colder air, but it's just back and forth between the colder air and the milder, warmer air as well. Everybody's favorite topic, snow. Not looking at much here in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. The European model keeps all the snow to the north of us across northern Ontario. And then that's the same for the GFS model. Not much in the way of snow at all. It's close, don't get me wrong, but it's staying north and east of us and to our north and west. So that's all for now. If you just joined, I'm going to ask you to join. That means a lot to me. But if you're stopping by my YouTube channel, thank you for stopping by. And it would mean a lot to me if you did subscribe. This is a YouTube page talking about Upper Peninsula weather. And we will continue to have more Upper Peninsula weather talks like this, showing some weather models, and not just me giving a forecast, but walking you through my thinking here as I take you through what I'm seeing in the weather models. Have a good one, and I'll see you next time.